Alright, this looks like a good shot. Mind holding the camera? She hands you the camera and takes position. Ahem. As night falls, my new assistant, the mysterious Lisa, and I find ourselves on a high hill in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We will begin our hunt for the elusive yet pungent skunk ape. Though mostly encountered in Florida, its possible relative of Bigfoot has been spotted all along the southeastern edge of the United States, including right in this very county. Here's hoping we get a glimpse tonight. We'll check back when we're on the trail. Until then, stay searching, Stellas. I take that camera off of your hands for now. We'll be able to start the tracking scenes once the sun sets all the way. In the meantime, we can get to take in all this beautiful scenery. It's gorgeous out here, don't you think? Let's use our book smart trait. It's not too often I get the chance to flex my biology skills like this. I can identify some of the calls out here, but not all of them. I love to get my hands on a field guide and come back when the sun is up. Who needs a field guide when you've got me? I've been hiking these trails all my life. I know just about everything that swims, crawls, walks, or flies through these flies through these woods, from their prints to their poop. So if you've ever had any questions, ask away. Your quiet moment with Stella is broken by a loud, percussive snort. I like this response. Death has come for me at last. Goodbye, cruel world. No need to come to terms with your own mortality just yet. That's just the sound the deer make when they want to warn the rest of the herd that the big scary predators like us. Let's check it out. As you and Stella hear the footfalls of animals retreating into the wood, she reaches for her flashlight. A single deer remains behind, staring down the light of Stella's flashlight, while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. And then it's gone. Geez, Gretchen, calm down. You're gonna hurt yourself. She cannot handle deer. When she gets like this, I usually have to pick her up and hold her. She has a bad habit of slipping her harness when she wants to go after something. You're too much of a potato, and they don't make harnesses to fit potatoes, do they? There was something wrong with that deer. Did you see its face? Now that you mention it, there was something a little off. I'd bet it was an abscess, maybe a tumor. It's not like wild animals get those taken care of, so they just get bigger and bigger. Poor thing. But there's not much we can do about it. Why do you bring Gretchen out here with you? She doesn't seem like the safest choice for a hiking companion. I actually find her to be quite the opposite. Sure, she wants to chase stuff, but usually I let her when I'm not on one of my cryptid hunts, so I can't hold that against her. I'm just happy she's still so feisty, even at her age. Pugs aren't exactly known for their good health, but here she is, running around in the woods at 17. And I feel like the fresh mountain air and exercise have helped her a lot in that regard. You defy the laws of nature, don't you, Gretch? That got my heart rate up. I'm so ready for the hunt. Same for me. How's about we take a quick snack break to fuel up, then we get right into the night's activities. I've got all the best trail snacks. As you settle down to rest, Stella breaks open a bag of assorted snacks. What shall we take? Take the trail mix. You grab the trail mix. Classic choice. It never fails to satisfy. I like to mix my own to make sure it has the best stuff, and I use dried cherries instead of raisins. Maybe it's a bit controversial pick, but even as someone who's passionate about dried fruit, I simply cannot abide raisins. Yes, finally someone who gets it. Raisins are glorified mouse droppings. They destroy everything they touch. Definitely. Any other dried fruit is better. Glad to finally meet a fellow preserved fruit connoisseur who can appreciate my refined taste in trail mix. You and Stella settle down on an overlook, snacks in hand, as the quiet sounds of evening wildlife wash over you. So, tell me, what is it like in Rotterdam? Do you have a house, an apartment? Do you live with a family, roommates, pets? Tell me what it's like to be Lisa. I live alone in a dingy studio apartment. And it's a mixed bag. At first it was kind of nice to finally have a space that was just mine, but now it feels cramped. It's like I'm stuck in a closet alone and no one can come let me out because I chose this for myself, and as far as they know, I'm happy being there. The light flickers, the toilet is constantly getting backed up because the landlady upstairs keeps flushing her cat's litter. It smells like cigarettes for some reason, and it's home to an extremely durable population of roaches. But I guess it's home. I do what I can to spruce up the place. I got a plant. You know how they say living things are supposed to brighten up a room. When you put it like that, I wonder if staying in that old mansion is a step up or a step down for you. Maybe just a step sideways. Have you tried looking for a different place? Or finding a roommate? There's got to be a better apartment than that in a big city like Rotterdam. Oh, I hear you. I've been saving up for something better. Oh yeah? So what do you do for a living? What shall we say? What shall we do for a living? Let's sell arts and crafts on Etsy. I have an Etsy store where I sell assorted arts and crafts. Sometimes I'll do commissions, sometimes I'll just sort of find something on the street and fix it up with a quirky design, like giving something a mustache or painting it to look like a bee. Oh, so you're an artist and you upcycle trash. That's cool, Lisa. Thanks, Scylla. Most people I meet tend to raise their eyebrows when I tell them what I do, but you know what? I love it. It might not be much, but it's empowering to feel like I'm taking control of my own destiny. Believe me, I can relate. I don't think I'd give up on what I'm doing for anything. A crisp breeze passes over you. What about you? What's your living situation? Gretchen and I live in a little house just outside of town. It's actually the house I grew up in, so it has a lot of pleasant memories attached to it, and I'm glad I could keep it in the family. My great-great-grandfather built that house, and he must have done a great job because it's just as sturdy as it's ever been. Keeping the house in the family? Is it just you there? Yeah, it's just me and Gretchen. My parents died a few years back. But it's okay, I've done my mourning, life goes on. We still get to live in our beautiful family home, just me and Gretchen. It could be a lot worse. Let's explore. What were they like? Did you get along? They were amazing. Two of the nicest people you'd ever meet, and interesting too. My dad was a bit of a regional legend among hunters and trappers. He was always out in the woods on the trail of something, and we certainly had some interesting dinners because of him. He had to learn how to fend for himself, you see, since his family didn't have much growing up, so he learned how to hunt and trap and got damn good at it. He always made sure I had food and that I knew how to get it if I ever found myself too far from a grocery store. I could make us a pretty good salad with just what's in this clearing if I had to, though it wouldn't exactly taste great. As for my mom, she was a saint. She was the local vet, the lady all the farms in the county knew to call if their animals were in need of something. She was smart as a whip and strong to boot. Turns out pulling calves out of a 1,600-pound... Yes, 1,600-pound cows all day is a great way to build muscle. But she was gentle too. Even the smallest mouse would get a proper care in her hands. I'm sure she's most of the reason Gretchen is here, is one of the oldest dogs I've ever met. So yeah, those were my parents. Whoa. Stella immediately packs her bag and slings it over her shoulder. Keen eye. Everything else went quiet. I could hear all sorts of wildlife just a second ago, and now it's quiet. You're right, and whatever made that sound is close. Here, hold Gretchen's leash for me while I check this out. You and Stella inch towards the tree line as she shines her flashlight into the bush. As you approach, a series of weak clucks call out from a nearby bush. Maybe Duke's birds weren't eaten after all. What the hell was that? Hold on, I gotta play that back. Holy shit. I'm guessing it must be maybe 2-3 feet tall. Doesn't look hairy either, so I think we can rule out skunk ape. But whatever it is, it has one of Duke's chickens. It looks like it was headed north. Let's go after it. Right behind you. You follow Stella as she sprints into the unknown, Gretchen excitedly pulling you along by her leash. Oof. Are you okay? Haha, yeah, I'm alright. I just tripped on something weird. Oh no, that poor thing. It must have been one of Duke's. Oh Jesus, it's still alive. You move towards Stella to get a closer look at the chicken. Don't let Gretchen get too close. She'll try to take a bite if you don't stop her. You hold Gretchen's leash close to your chest. She seems nervous, squirming slightly against her harness. Good God. At first you thought it might have been a tumor, but this is something else. The skin is stretched taut, the growth pulsing beneath. If you didn't know better, you'd say this could be some sort of parasitic growth, like a wasp laying eggs inside a caterpillar. Looking more closely, you think you can see something squirming inside. Its poor little chicken eyes look up at you, glazed over, but still rolling around in their sockets with unfortunate life. Looks like this is what Stella slipped on. The wing is barely still attached, but that seems to be the least of this chicken's concerns. Having investigated to your heart's content, you turn away to give Stella room to film. It seems we found one of Duke's chickens, folks, and she's not looking good. I'm hesitant to speculate, but she definitely seems to have some sort of growth under her skin. Could be a tumor, could be something else. Either way, I don't think there's much that can be done for her at this point. Geez, I'm gonna have to put up some massive content warnings for this video. Hey, do you hear that? What in the Sam Hill are you two doing out here? Didn't I tell you to... Birdie? Oh, Birdie, what's wrong, darling? Good God. Did y'all see what did this to her? We caught a glimpse of something earlier, and when we chased after it, it brought us here. Whatever did this to her, I think we can hear them in the trees. Put that camera away, for God's sake, girl. I don't want to be in another one of your videos. No one needs to see me like this. No one needs to see Birdie like this. You wouldn't put her online, would you? Not when she's like this, all swollen and hurting. Duke, did you hear me? I think they're coming closer. Come out, you sons of bitches. Duke, don't shoot them. We have no idea what'll happen. You hear that, Stella? That ain't the sound of something peace-like. Whatever these things are, they'll pay for what they did to my girls. Come on, you, whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot. As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. Alright guys, so this is where our story is going to diverge from the previous version. Instead of diving for Gretchen, we're going to dive for the flashlight. You dive to the flashlight and swing your body towards the woods. I said aim the damn thing, quick! Perfect. Just grazed it, but that should make it pretty easy to track, huh, Stella? Yeah, a blood trail is pretty hard to miss. Guess we know it wasn't mountain lions after all. Thought it didn't look like any cryptid I've heard of. This is going to be one hell of a video. As your heartbeat settles, you realize that Gretchen stopped tugging at her leash. You look down only to find an empty harness and the paw prints of a runaway dog. Wait, where's Gretchen? Where's my dog? She must have slipped out of her harness. I'm so sorry, Stella. I try to hold on to her. Gretchen, I'm coming for you. I'll be damned if I let her chase after those things alone. Alone, you have no choice but to follow Duke and Stella into the darkness. You steel your nerves and run into the unknown. As you push deep into the woods, the unearthly sounds once again surround you. Oh God, they're back. I know, we just have to keep pushing forward. Damn it, girl. Are you trying to get us lost? Slow down. No, I'm just following the trail. Holy shit, I think I'm gonna be sick. Lord, that smell. The shrieks pull back into steady whispers as you, Stella and Duke, stumble upon the putrid bodies of dozens of dead and dying animals. At the edge of it all, an immobilized Gretchen gurgles in pain as one of the creatures looms over her. A sinking realization pulls at your gut. This is their nest, and you are surrounded. Gretchen! As Stella steps towards the nest, Duke pulls her back. Holy shit, what do we do? There's got to be dozens of those things up in the trees. They're circling us to protect their brood, or whatever it is they've been planting in our animals. We've got to get out of here while we still can. You're right. There's nothing we can do right now. But Jesus Christ, I can't leave Gretchen like this. Duke, give me your gun. You're not thinking about... She's my dog, Duke. We can't save her, but I'll be damned if we leave her behind to suffer like the rest of these animals. You don't have to do this. Duke, give me the gun. Now! Stella grabs Duke's gun and takes careful aim. Run! As soon as the gun fires, you, Stella and Duke, sprint back through the woods, the unearthly hollers and whispers of the nest nipping at your heels. In the highest branches of the trees and down on the forest floor, they're all around you, casually keeping pace with your all-out sprint. Quick, my track's down this way. You make it to the road, but 3 of the creatures stand between you and Duke's truck. They're protecting the nest. They won't let us leave until you give them Birdie. Lisa's right, Duke. Is this what you want? Is this what you want, you sons of bitches? Fine, take her and leave us be. Duke. Get in the truck and let's get the hell out of here. The 3 of you sit in silence as Duke drives back to town. The ride feels both like an eternity and like nothing at all. Eventually, it's over, and you find yourself outside of Stella's house. Thanks for taking me home, Duke. Anytime. But Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what were those things? I have no idea. I've never heard of anything like them, but I've got a ton of footage. Nothing really clear, but it's a start. I better go check in with Bo. He'll be worrying about me. You and your friends stay safe. Looks like those things didn't follow us, but, well, no point in talking about buts. Just look out for yourselves. Take care, Duke. And here you are, Back in town, away from the woods and with no one but Stella in sight. Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Now that you're back in town, you must finally have reception again. 6 missed calls from Tabitha and 13 text messages. You try and call Tabitha back, but it goes straight to voicemail. You text Tabitha back and let her know that you're okay. Your message sits unread. Yikes, Tabitha's been blowing up my phone. I guess she must be worried about you. God, what a mess this night's been. I'm so sorry about Gretchen. There's nothing we could have done. I just have to accept what happened and move on. She was 17 after all. It's not like we had many years left. Why did it have to happen like that? It's my fault. I should have grabbed her. Lisa, you were in an impossible situation and you made a difficult choice. It's done, and I'm not going to hold it against you. Neither of us needs to go back and relive that moment. What do you make of everything we saw? I don't know. I haven't seen or read anything like this. Although maybe... We've got to find out more about those things. The library doesn't open for a while, so any research will have to wait until the morning. That being said, there is someone in town who might have some useful information. Her place isn't far. We should head over now before it gets any later. Let's do it. Cool, let's go. The general store. This must be where Stella's friend Kanika lives. I hope she's still awake. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a shadowy figure staring at you from across the road. You didn't hear it approach. Stella, I think someone's watching us. She turns to look. Lisa? Jesus. Welcome home. Before you can respond, the door behind you swings open. A middle-aged woman stands in the entryway. Go home, Wayne. I can't help you tonight. You look back and figure is already gone, disappeared into the shadows of the night. I'm sorry about that, Stella. Some people just can't be helped. What brings you out here so late? And who is this? Hi, Mrs. Forsyth. This is Lisa. Is it okay if we come in? Of course. You're in luck. I just put on water for hibiscus tea. And for goodness sake, you can call me Sybil. You're an adult now, after all. Welcome to my little nook. It's nice to finally meet you, Lisa. I was so sorry to hear about your mother. Vivian was such a lovely soul, and she's been sorely missed in the holler, and now poor Pearl Ann is gone as well. Do let me know if there's anything you need while you're in town. Who was that outside? Just a very sick man. You don't need to be worried about him. You knew my mom? Of course, dear. She was a good friend of mine for many years. She was such a lovely woman. You should come by sometime, and I can delight you with unsavory tales of her youth. How did you know that she died? Oh, Pearl Ann was a chatty woman. Not much went on that I wouldn't get an earful of, bless her heart. We need your help. Ah, yes, I suppose pleasantries can wait for another time. What's got you here so late? You seem troubled. You know about weird stuff, right? Unexplainable stuff? I'm not so sure I follow, dear. I know which oils to use for which aches. I know a bit about classical spiritualism. Just what sort of unexplainable things are you talking about? We ran into some creatures out in the woods. These things. I don't even know how to describe them. I can't say I know much about local wildlife. My daughter has always had a brighter gift for nature than I. This wasn't local wildlife, Mrs. Forsyth. Here, I can show you. Stella pulls out her camera and tilts the screen towards Sybil. Ah, one of your little videos. Where was this? Up the mountain to the northwest, within the town limits? Yes. I see. Is there any way to make the video bigger and louder if you can? I'd need to plug the memory card into a computer. I could go back and get mine. No need. Kanika should still be awake. She can lend us hers. You'd better come with Stella. I'm sure she'll be more willing to help a friend than her nosy mother. Kanika, come on out. We could use a little help. What, Mom? Oh, it's Stella. Hey, Stella. And a stranger? What are you doing in my house? Hi, I'm Lisa. Tabitha's cousin? Yep. Sweetie, we were wondering if we could borrow your laptop. Stella and her friend have a video to show us. It's really important, Kanika. Okay. My room's a mess. I'll just bring it out there. Heads up, Kanika. This is graphic. There's a lot of dead and sick animals on the recording. You know, I have a harder stomach than any of our friends. I'm pressing play. Silence washes over the room as the video plays. Stella, what the hell is this? Did you film it? Was that Gretchen at the end there? Stella, where's Gretchen? It's my fault. I was holding on her leash and she got away from me when those creatures surrounded us. I shot her, Kanika. Those things, they put something in her, and I wasn't about to let her suffer. Stella, I'm so sorry. It's okay, I'm fine. I just want to know what did this to her. Unfortunately, if these creatures are what they think they are, what happened to Gretchen is but the start of something far more sinister. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Mom, come on, this is serious. Stop scaring Stella and Lisa with this telepro crap. She just lost her dog. Have some respect. Kanika, sweetie, let your mother talk. The creatures themselves are harmless to people, despite that grisly scene in the woods. But just as birds flock before a storm, the ditchlings congregate where tragedy is soon to fall. To see one is to be cursed by fate. To see so many in one place is... Sybil holds her silence. Jesus, Mom. They've clearly had a rough night. They don't need this. It's okay, Kanika. This is helpful. Stella, whatever these things are, they aren't magic. We can't rule that out, not after what we saw. But fine, let's focus on what we know. Whatever they are, they're doing something to these animals. You saw that nest. What were those growths? It must be part of their life cycle. I looked at that chicken up close and it looked like some sort of parasitic growth, like when a wasp lays eggs in a caterpillar. I could even see something squirming around inside. That seems plausible. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions about something this out there, not without doing some research or talking to a biologist. I'm sure there's a rational explanation that'll clear all this up. Oh dear, I'd forgotten entirely about the tea I'd put on. Let me fix you a couple of cups. It'll help soothe your nerves. I don't know, it's getting late and I should let Lisa get some rest. I ran her ragged today with all the hiking and running through the woods in terror. Yeah, I'm about ready to pass out. Thanks for the help, Sybil, and it was nice to meet you, Kanika. Sorry it had to be under such weird circumstances. Hopefully the next time we meet will be a little less terrifying. We should all hang out this week, Kanika. Maybe we could even get Reese to chill with us. I could really use it. But for now, thank you both so much for everything. Let me get you some of my house-made peppermint tea to go. It really does wonders to soothe the soul. Bye, Stella. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? And call me if you need to talk. Thanks, Kanika. I'll see ya. Bye, Lisa. It's excellent iced or warm. Though with the nights getting chillier, warm will probably be best. Helps wake up the bones. Be careful out there, both of you. Sybil turns and closes the door behind her. Alrighty, let's head back home. My home, I mean. And here we are. You're welcome to stay the night if you want. Thanks for the offer. I'm terrified of being alone tonight. Yeah, no kidding. I can't say I was looking forward to it. It doesn't take long for Stella to fix up the guest room for you. While it's only smaller than its counterpart at the estate, it's far better cared for. Make yourself at home. Are you going to be okay after what happened with... I'll be okay, Lisa, but I don't want to talk about it right now. Who was that guy outside of Sybil's? I've never been snuck up on like that before. Wayne? I haven't really gotten to know the guy. I think he works in the mine. It might be worth looking into him. What do you make of all this? Gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Those creatures are out there and they're doing something horrible to the local wildlife. I know that some of the things Sybil said were a little wild, but if she is right, and they are an omen, maybe we can change things and stop whatever's brought them here before it happens. It couldn't hurt to poke around town. I have the time. Agreed. You know, you didn't have to do all this, right? You don't have to worry about that. I'm glad the guest room is finally getting some use. Alright, I'm exhausted. I think I'm gonna go pass out. Go get some rest, Lisa. I'll see you in the morning. From the comfort of Stella's guest bed, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else, though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you're safe and you're warm. Eventually the sun will rise and chase away the monsters and make them seem like nothing but bad dreams. Maybe tomorrow, if you're lucky, you'll wake up in the normal world and have relaxing weeks in the mountains with a new friend. It's a nice thought, but deep down, you can't help but worry that things will only get worse. From behind closed doors, you can faintly hear the sound of quiet sobs. Alright guys, this is the end of episode 1. We'll be continuing both of these playthroughs on the 1st of October, starting with episode 2. Hope to see you guys there.